Welcome everybody to Beyond the Cinema. My name is Tyler. I'm graced with the presence of Ethan, co-host. So Beyond the Cinema is our first episode of our podcast. We're really excited. This is a show. That's it. No, actually, it's a show pretty much dedicated to cinema and movies. That's the majority of what we're talking about. But what else is cool is we're going to be going beyond that. We're going to be talking about everything that kind of ties into that movie world. For some reason, all those random things people like connect with movies for some reason. Video games, TV, comics, all that good stuff. We're just going to be talking about it. So, yeah, it's an exciting week. San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of big news.
Yes. First off, the main big thing is the It Chapter 2 trailer dropped. Which was really good.
I think it was so funny how that their panel was supposed to be like on Friday, like yesterday, and then they dropped the trailer Wednesday night. It's just like
so at the Comic-Con they're like, here's something you've already seen, and people are like, oh. But as far as the trailer goes itself, I really like that it's less of a fear of Pennywise himself now and more a fear of what he does and more of them needing to stop him before it's too late sort of deal. When I think Bill, I think is his name, James McAvoy's character, is trying to get in the mirror room with Pennywise so he can get that kid out rather than just running from him like they did as kids that time before. I really like that kind of different perspective, and I think that adds kind of a different sort of tension to it.
Yeah,
so
I really dig. I got more of like a suspense thriller type vibe from this. Like, obviously it's gonna be scary because it's
a horror movie,
but it's a horror movie. It's gonna be scary, but I really dig the vibe of it. Was very suspenseful watching it. Like, I remember the first trailer. I guess this isn't the first trailer, but I remember the first trailer we got for it. It was quite frightening, and it was very spooky. And this trailer was more like intense. It was suspenseful. The music was really like, you had a lot of like obligatory obsession was in there, and it was really good. I dig the trailer a lot.
Another thing I really like is Pennywise himself was by far like the scariest part of it. And I know that some people were kind of upset that a lot of him ended up kind of being more CGI, like the projector scene. And so seeing that it's going to be it looks a lot more practical, like the water scene where, the person's like drowning and they keep asking for help, and all of a sudden you see him on the shore and then his hand reaches out and you just see his eyes glowing in the background. All that sort of practical stuff I feel like has a more grounded and more scary sense to it, just because more what he's capable of. And so like with more CGI payoffs, which is kind of the route it seems to be taking, that's kind of I'm excited to see that too.
No, I dig it a lot. I'm really excited, so looking forward to it too in September. That's gonna be good. So the next trailer along, we're just going to go like in order of when everything was dropped. So we got a Top Gun Maverick trailer at our Paramount Studios panel. I don't know. I'm not sure how everyone else feels about this. Like, it looks fine. Like,
I didn't even know this movie existed before the trailer. It's Top Gun. It's a fun, like, military style action movie. I think it's kind of funny that Tom Cruise keeps using Maverick is back as the tagline, because that makes it Top Gun Maverick. Maverick is back. So it's like right kind of there. So I'm like, Tom, you probably need to come up with a new catchphrase for that.
New tagline for the movie.
But it looks good, but like military style movies have never been my sort of passion. I really like movies that kind of explore less realistic things and kind of take us to places that real life can't. And so Top Gun, I'm sure it will be good, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but it's just not one that I'm super hyped for.
See, it looks great. Like, watching the trailer, I definitely think like there is something of substance and something that's good is there. But my question is just like, is this movie necessary? Like, because there's a lot of these big franchises that keep coming back.
From the dead,
yeah. They just not only like beat a dead horse, they revive the dead horse and
then beat it back to death.
They beat it back to death. And so I just wondered if like was Top Gun that thing that needed to come back? I don't feel like it was. Like I'm sure it's gonna be good. Like the cinematography was fantastic in the trailer.
I heard after the trailer dropped that it was actually Tom Cruise who really pushed for this because Top Gun was one of his favorite movies to work on. But Tom Cruise is also kind of a maniac, so like who knows for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, it'll be fine. I think it's gonna be good.
It's just definitely not. I don't think it's on anyone's like top 10 list.
Nobody's thinking like, oh man, Top Gun.
I've really got to get myself some Top Gun.
But yeah, it kind of you said like I forgot it was a thing. I remember it being announced like 2 years ago, and then
suddenly it's here.
And then suddenly there's a trailer, and it's like, oh, fair enough. But other news from the Paramount Pictures panel, we had a lot of good stuff from Terminator Dark Fate, which is like surprising because I don't know, there wasn't like
Genesis was
garbage. Yeah. I didn't feel like it was time yet for yet again another Terminator reboot.
Like they haven't quite built up trust back quite up. We talked about the first trailer personally and how it was pretty lackluster. We laughed a lot about how they made hunting so stupid. And we talked a lot about how it made us laugh that Arnold Schwarzenegger was like a big reveal in the trailer, like a big moment as he walks out the door. And it was like...
No way! Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in a Terminator movie?
Well, and not to mention, like, what else does he have going on? Like, I'm sorry, but what's Arnie up to? Being Chris Pratt's dad-in-law? Like, what a busy job he has. Like, of course he's in the movie. And I'm sure, like, I know that you're a bigger fan than I am, but, like, I'm sure that it was somewhat... I'm sure it was somewhat joyful to see him in the trailer, but like it made me laugh that they made it a big moment.
To be honest, I'm a big Terminator fan, and I wasn't fussed that he was in the trailer. Like I actually was like, oh dear, like again, because they did the same thing with Terminator Genesis, where you have like this trailer, then right at the end you have the reveal where you see old Arnie, and he like goes to fight the T-800, and you're just like, wow, like no way, like it's not like we've had one of these that hasn't had Arnold Schwarzenegger yet. Even Terminator Salvation had that really crappy CG one in it. Like there hasn't been a Terminator movie yet that doesn't
have Arnie of some kind.
So it's not like it's some big reveal. I was much more happy to see Linda Hamilton come back as Sarah Connor, and it was confirmed at the panel at San Diego Comic-Con for Edward Furlong coming back as John Connor, which is super exciting. Like that is cool. I was excited about that. I was like, yes, like that's their return.
Didn't even see him in any footage, but
yeah,
woo!
But like their return, and so I was really excited about that. I just forget the whole actually no, the shot in that BTS footage of Arnie like pinning the T-100 on the ground.
That was a good
That
shot.
was really
that
good.
was more hype. I would love for that to be like the trailer moment. Like people already just assume he's in the movie, so show him doing something like that super cool where he pins the which generation
it was the T-1000.
The T-1000 down and just unloads a round into his face. So cool.
It was good. It's got the R rating. Yeah,
it does, and
the BTS footage dropped like 3 or 4 F-bombs in
itself.
it. Just the behind
it's
the
Tim
scenes.
Miller, Deadpool. So
that's fair.
And the behind the scenes honestly was more enjoyable than the trailer.
Better than the trailer. It built my hype. I mean, I can't trust James Cameron as far as I can
ready
throw
to
him,
love again.
He said all those things that he said in the BTS, which about we're going back to the roots, like it's hard, it's intense, and
that's
like you said the exact same thing about Terminator Genesis. You're like, it's going to the roots. I love it. It's amazing, and it was total garbage.
Yep, so, it was rough.
So not trusting James Cameron, but excited for Dark Fate.
Next up is the CW Batwoman.
Yeah, that got a premiere, like it got an early premiere at San Diego Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. So they let everybody watch it. So we haven't watched it, so we can't say much about it. But right now the reviews are pretty lackluster. I don't know if there's much more to like talk about it. It's just
it happened. We'll see how it drops.
Oh man! But
I will say that a lot of the more popular shows like Arrow and even The Flash on CW, they actually open to mixed reviews too.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. We'll see.
It could be good, but So this is, in my opinion, this is probably the biggest news and trailer we've gotten from San Diego Comic-Con. It certainly lightened up my day by watching it. We got our first trailer for the live-action adaptation of Cats.
And it might be the scariest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Why that art direction? So I found out, it might have been yesterday, that it's not actually, it's not fully CGI. They actually are wearing, the fursuits, in the musicals, and then they mesh them with CGI, which is somehow even more scary than I could have imagined. The tiny bodies, oh man.
See, I watched this trailer and I genuinely feel uncomfortable. Not jokingly oh, that was stupid, that made me feel uncomfortable. I genuinely watch it and you look at these half-naked miniature CGI cat people, and I just feel wrong for looking at it. It just feels wrong.
At least the Avatar people wore clothes and everything.
But I just watch it, and I just for some reason, part of me just feels really guilty inside. I'm I shouldn't be watching something like this.
It's sort of the uncanny valley thing too, where they're so human yet so not, and the most terrifying shot for me is when I don't know, I don't know who is playing this cat. The only one I can really recognize is Idris Elba. And Rebel Wilson.
Ian McClellan's in it as well.
But when the one cat takes off his hat and his ears are down, that shot rattles me to my core. That shot
lights your brain on fire.
That shot gave me just immediate PTSD. So
oh man, yeah.
We're there's nothing much to say other than it's
Robert Pattinson looks like the live action version of Cat in the Hat. That's Batman. Haven't seen him in anything big for 10 years since Twilight. I'm glad that his resurfacing back into mainstream Hollywood isn't something big getting ready for Batman. He's I'm gonna be this cat in Cats. It's gonna be bad, and then everybody's gonna complain about me being Batman even more.
He did it to himself. Next up, speaking of Batman, we have Batman Beyond is getting a remaster and possibly
4K release and possibly a new
season.
That is okay. So I know maybe not your thing, but I love the Batman animated stuff from the 90s. It's my favorite, right? 90s and early 2000s. So Batman Beyond getting remastered is the best news I've ever gotten. That's so good. I'm trying to think of other big news because we're
there. So there is one thing, and this is something that's more from my side of things, just Batman was for years. So if you don't know, Jurassic World is getting a spin-off TV show that'll debut on Netflix. It's going to be sort of the TV 14 age range sort of deal. Apparently at times I actually have a contact up at Universal who has talked to me about this and told me some stuff that I should probably not know, but which I won't say, but it will be a little more adult. I've heard at times it's even more intense than some of the movies have gone. And it's called Camp Cretaceous, and they announced at the Mattel panel, which is the Jurassic World toy brand, that there is going to be a toy line for the TV show, because apparently there's going to be new species on there, and it's going to have most likely debut its full trailer sometime really soon. They even hinted it maybe this weekend, and so that show is basically just going to follow a group of teens that are left behind after the Jurassic World incident and who are part of sort of a teen camp to start studying the dinosaurs and get Jurassic World employees in the door early sort of deal. Yeah. It was kind of an internship sort of thing that they called Camp Cretaceous, and then during the whole Indominus attack they get left behind.
Oh, that sounds really good.
So,
I think that would actually.
And so that should be debuting pretty soon here. The teaser trailer's out now, and you can check that out.
There we go.
So
yeah. So other big Comic-Con news, because as we're filming this right now and recording this right now,
Comic-Con is still going.
Comic-Con's still going. It's Saturday morning right now. So Marvel's big Hall H panel isn't until later today, And so, unfortunately, there's not much we're going to be able to talk about
there. We
there.
got a partial reveal of their Phase 4 slot, but it's not anything
we're guaranteed getting Thor 4 and Black Widow.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is
your
happening.
Doctor Strange 2,
Doctor
your
Strange
Black
2,
Panther 2, that
Spider-Man
kind of
3. All those are going to be coming. So
yeah.
Those are guaranteed. But
other news. Oh, Halloween's getting 2 more sequels back to back. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Same month, and they follow the same canon, don't they?
Yeah, so it's gonna be like it's supposedly gonna be like trilogy with this new Halloween, the one that just came out last year.
One at the beginning of the month, one at the end, right?
Well, no, they're different years, so 2020 and 2021. But they just announced both of them with like a teaser trailer yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And then we got our first trailer for The Witcher on Netflix. Looks really great. Yeah, there's not much to say there. Just looks good.
It looks really good. Henry Cavill's always
What
good.
else did we get? There was The Walking Dead's getting 3 movies being put into theaters.
And that's where the character of Rick Grimes is going. And so after he left the TV show, which I mean, it's kind of interesting. They made like a whole big deal about his departure, and then they're like, but he's in the movies now. It's like,
Well, and so even with Warner Brothers and Lucasfilm not showing up to this Comic-Con, and Marvel hasn't even had their panel yet, we've had a lot of really big stuff going on. So it was a big con so far, and it's only been
DC for the most part has been absent. Warner Brothers in general. We were supposed to get a bunch of news about Godzilla versus Kong well, but with while they're trying to figure out their whole mess with DC, they just canceled their panel altogether.
Oh man, that's so bad.
So we don't have any news for DC stuff or the MonsterVerse. That's gonna be hopefully coming up soon.
But yeah, so San Diego Comic-Con, it's busy, and I'm sure we'll end up talking about Marvel's Phase 4 slate.
Yeah, really soon. Oh, another thing, the Russos did announce that their next movie is actually going to be another comic
book adaptation.
Grim Jack, I think is the name. I've never heard of it before. I did a Google search.
I think it's Grimlock. Or am I wrong?
Grimlock's the robot T-Rex from Transformers.
Never mind. So I'm probably wrong. I forget I said anything.
Yeah, I know everything encompassing T-Rex.
I'm investigating. Whoa! New Watchmen trailer released by HBO just now.
There we go.
So there's a Watchmen trailer. Go check that out. Where's this thing about the Russos in there? Just keep talking. I'm gonna find it.
So there is Grim Jack coming out soon. I think it's Grim Jack. He's gonna double check that for me.
Fact check you on that.
They announced officially that the next big CW crossover event is actually going to be Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, Brandon Routh's coming back as Superman
alongside Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. So it's going to have 2 Supermans. Played by 2 different actors, which is going to be interesting. Superwoman's getting a new suit. It has pants now.
Supergirl's like a skirtless suit. I don't know why it matters, but it does apparently. I can't find it. I'm just scrolling through lots of things about the Cats trailer.
Let me look it up.
We're getting there. But
Grim Jack. Yeah, it's Grim Jack.
Grim Jack. You got it.
So
on the ball.
Yeah, Russo's and AGBO Studios developing Grim Jack comics, and and they're also making a film based off the Japanese anime Battle of the Planets.
So the Russos are busy. Yeah,
they're busy.
They dropped a new trailer for 21 Bridges as well at their panel.
And I mean,
it's the same thing as the first trailer, but reorganized. But yeah, so that's SDCC. Like, if we missed anything,
let's see. I guess in other entertainment news, since I'm on the Jurassic side of things, Jurassic World: The Ride did open.
Oh yeah.
And I actually got to go and ride it. 10 out of 10. Videos don't do it justice, is all I can say about it. I'm looking through my phone trying to see if there's anything else new.
I think that's all we've got for right now. Yeah. There's going to be updates probably like as we're recording this next little bit. But we're going to move on now. So this last week, The Lion King. It's The Lion King. It came out in theaters. It's out and we saw it. And
it came out in theaters 20 years ago, and
it came out in
nothing
theaters
has changed.
Yesterday. It's the same thing, but we're going to talk about it. All right, so Disney's 2019 The Lion King. I genuinely have no clue what to talk about when it comes to this movie, because if you've seen The Lion King, you've seen
You've
the
seen
Lion
this
King.
one, yeah.
You've seen the Lion King.
It's the first maybe 40 minutes of the movie are almost a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I feel like, so I've rewatched it twice now. So I've gone 2 times, and I actually just saw it last night, so it's pretty fresh. And I gotta say, the second half of the movie hits a much better and pace with me, and has a little bit different tone, and I feel like a little more originality than the first half. And I think that's where the movie is actually its best, because I mean, you could seriously walk into this movie like 30 minutes late and pick up immediately, just because what's going on, just because you've seen the Lion King.
You've seen it before. Yeah.
So
I enjoy Disney's most expensive animated movie, because even though they call this one the live action Lion King, the entire thing is
CGI. Yeah.
None of it's real. And like, I make fun of that, but like, it's incredible.
It's really
the
high-end
visuals
stuff.
are amazing. Like, it's gonna get the Oscar. Jungle Book won, and this had better visuals than Jungle Book.
And that's saying something, because Jungle Book was pretty incredible.
So it's gonna get the Oscar.
And I mean, in that sense, it does deserve it. But it does have, like, all the animals look fantastic. The male lions, especially. I know some people thought that they looked really similar, but I mean, lions kind of look similar to each other. I thought they did a really good job with character design. Scar looked a lot better than the trailers made him seem. Like, his scar was a lot more pronounced than I thought. He had a lot more black in his mane than I thought. Stuff like that.
All people look the same, right?
Yeah,
like every person looks the same. Every lion looks the same. Like, it's
and so it was, and so I also kind of like the contrast between, even more in this movie than you could tell kind of in the original, the contrast between Mufasa and Scar, kind of like their upbringing, how they ended up looking so different. Like, Mufasa was like this, like, ideal lion unit.
Like Scar looked anorexic, like,
yeah,
that whole movie.
He was super skinny, and he looked really moody and upset. Meanwhile, Mufasa was like this just unit of a lion, just like square chiseled jaw.
So built.
So just a big beefy lion. When he's running along the wildebeest, he almost looks bigger than the wildebeest as he's like powering down. And so, I liked that aspect. Simba looked pretty good. The female lions, you can't tell the difference between, like, at all. I've actually had the pleasure of working with lions, and usually you can tell by the spots on the nose where the whiskers come out. But, like, in the movie, it goes so fast that how are you going to do that? And so instead you're supposed to go by eye color, I think, because Simba's mom has brown eyes, and Nala has green.
I didn't notice that at all. I was just like, that one sounds like Beyonce. Well, so that's
well, even then, I mean, like, it's such a fast cut that, like, unless it's dead on and in decent lighting, you can't really tell the eye colors. So, and that kind of brings me to my, like, big criticism is, I know a lot of people mention this, especially online and on Twitter and stuff, that the animals are just straight faced. It's especially the cubs. Like, Simba and Nala as cubs showed no emotion whatsoever. And I understand that it is a realistic medium and all that. However, if you're already having the animals talk and anthropomorphizing them in that way, I feel like you can stretch it a little bit and show them be a little more expressive.
Yeah.
I mean, the snake in Jungle Book, Kaa, was more expressive and showed more range of emotions than Simba did as his dad died in front of him.
Whoa.
So,
spoilers.
Sorry
about that. Just in case you didn't know, Simba's dad, Mufasa, is trampled by wildebeest in this movie.
Because, like I said, it's not like it's not identical to the original. I mean, we even made the joke when, because one of the few original lines that they added is Simba goes like, "We're going to be friends forever, right, Dad?" And I just looked over at Tyler and was like, I give him 10 minutes.
I looked at my watch and Mufasa died 10 minutes later.
Exactly. It's just 10
exactly
minutes.
10 minutes later.
And so it is very, very similar. It is literally, it's not a bad movie because it's identical to the original.
No, see, that's the thing that's hard about this movie is that, like, I can see why people are complaining about it, because I know with, like, the other Disney live action remakes, like Cinderella, we got some extra stuff. It was a bit different.
Jungle Book,
Jungle Book was very different. Like, and Beauty and the Beast, you had additional scenes, like a lot of additional music as well. And this one, like, they take some of the original songs and change some of the words to it, so it's different
a little bit.
But other than that, it's identical.
Also, you get one extra Beyonce song that's like the most forgettable song.
Well,
in the
and
movie.
It's not even a musical thing. It's just it
a
plays in the background
song,
while he's running, and so it's yeah. I think that it really is like if you are a fan of The Lion King and you have any kind of like remote nostalgia attached to it, you're gonna love this. But if you're not fussed with The Lion King, like this is not gonna change your mind because it's the exact same thing.
Movie. Another thing that I personally enjoyed is I have a bias towards lions and them doing lion-y things. So I enjoyed seeing big realistic lions on screen doing stuff, and so on that level, I liked it too, which is a really stupid and really baseline level, but it's very similar. People did bring up a good point with the emotion on the face thing. People did bring up a good point that just this year alone, we had Detective Pikachu and Godzilla King of Monsters, and both of those characters, despite being realistic and CGI and animals, showed a pretty high range of emotion on their face. And Pikachu's a little easier because
it's not a real thing.
It's not a real thing. Godzilla, I would argue, even though it's not a real animal, even though he's not a real thing, he is a reptile with no lips or eyebrows or anything like that you can kind of do anything with. And yet, like, when he first squares off against Ghidorah, it's like he looks just pissed. And so I do think that's a fair argument. And so I don't know,
and I guess like we kind of like pick it apart for what it is, but like the original Lion King is a fantastic film, and so that therefore makes this like a great movie because it's the same thing. And like performances all around were really great. Like Donald Glover was a fantastic
Simba,
fantastic casting.
Killed choice. I honestly liked him more than the original. And I know that's kind of controversial, but I did. It felt like his voice was more of a kind of spirit sibling or a spirit son to James Earl Jones' voice, because it just has that same kind of like, even though it's not as deep, it has that same kind of just smoothness to it. You know what I mean? And so I really liked that.
It's like I even really liked Seth Rogen as Pumbaa.
He was one of the best parts. Billy Eichner as Timon killed it.
Like it really, I think that those casting choices have always been good. Like, they were great.
Totally.
Everyone was really good. James Earl Jones sounds much more like Darth Vader in this one than he does in the original.
I think he's just gotten so much older that he can't quite translate the same. I don't think he can emote the same, because my friend I saw it with last night said that he didn't sound like he really, like he was just there to like get that paycheck and dip. And he didn't quite sound as like impactful.
I think he was trying his best. He just definitely sounded like Darth Vader.
I think his voice is just, as he's gotten older, it just doesn't work out as well. And so
it works out. He can be Darth Vader for the rest of his life.
Well, and he can't quite do the the whole like everything the light touches is our kingdom sort of thing anymore. He can't quite have that same kind of regalness, because his voice is a lot more like hoarse and stuff as he's gotten older. I mean, you hear him talking like interviews and it just doesn't sound the same as it used to.
That's true.
So the one voice actor I have a complaint about is actually Scar's. I think his name is pronounced Chiweedle, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% positive. Just because Jeremy Irons gave Scar such a like profound, and
I think Jeremy Irons totally could have come back as well.
Probably,
like
but
James Earl Jones was able to do it, and Jeremy Irons, like an older, more grizzled Jeremy Irons, would have been great. Would have been so good.
But like one thing I complained to Tyler about is that his voice cracks during the "Long Live the King" scene. He literally has his paws on Mufasa's paws, and he goes, "Long live the king," and then he slaps him, and he falls down, and like that like it just, that's one of the most intense scenes, and it almost kind of undermined it. Like I was kind of like just like, did his voice just crack while he's like about to murder his brother? And so I don't know, he was probably the only one I had like real, I wasn't really feeling.
I think Beyonce was fine. I couldn't care less that she was in the movie. Like there was no like, ooh, like Beyonce's in it. Like I didn't care.
A lot of people had that. Though.
And
a lot
she
of
wasn't,
people had, ooh, Beyonce's in it.
Yeah, I just like she was fine, but like just as fine as any other actress you could have picked. You didn't need to pick Beyonce.
Well, I mean, Nala isn't exactly. I hate to say it because I know that some people identify with Nala, but she's not in the movie a lot, and so they're not. She's not exactly what's getting people in seats.
Non-important character.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I would honestly, if I was rating it as a movie and acting like the original didn't exist, I would give it like 3.5, 4 stars.
Yeah.
Just because it was a really good movie, but if I'm rating it as an original movie, then it would go to the exact opposite end of the spectrum, and I'd have to rate it really low. So I honestly, the best way I can rate this movie is like a solid like 2.5 sort of deal, just because I can't make up an opinion about it, because if I praise it, I'm praising the original basically, and if I complain about it, I'm complaining about the original.
Yeah. So I think like what we wanted to do to kind of like set up a rating system is what I was thinking, and you can have your input upon this. I was thinking, because if we try and give this a number, it's just going to be like, so I want to like just have it where it's like
a recommend.
It's worth a watch. It's fine, like it's whatever. It's
so maybe like
or
need
it's
to watch,
or it's not like need to watch, worth a watch, or not worth your time.
Gotcha.
Like those.
I think we should have 4 then. I think it should be need to watch, like it's like up there, going to be a classic movie. Like a movie I'd say this year that's a need to watch would be like John Wick 3. And then just
worth a watch.
Worth a watch, just like, go at some point, go to the theater, make sure you catch it. And then I'd say probably like if it's on cable, if
somebody gives you free tickets and you have nothing to do that
exactly
day.
If you need to kill 2 hours, this is a fine way to do it. And then just don't even waste your time. Is probably how I'd rate it.
Okay, so I definitely say that The Lion King is worth a watch.
I would say it's worth a watch.
It's a great thing. Like you can bring your family to it, and if you really do like love The Lion King, you're gonna watch this and love it and feel so much nostalgia for it. Just don't go in like expecting anything new.
I would also put in a little caveat. I don't know how do you pronounce that. I would also put in kind of a little disclaimer that it's worth a watch while it's still in theaters. Because if you can't fully enjoy the new medium that they put it in, then you're missing out on the best part of this remake, because it's the only like original part is the new character designs, the new visuals. And so I'd say it's, if you can't catch it in theaters, then it would probably bump down like 2 slots to not worth your time, but to like if you happen to catch it, then
So yeah, I'd say like it's fine. It was totally a cash grab from Disney, but like it was a cash grab that if you watch it,
nice looking cash grab.
It's a nice looking cash grab, and you're going to be entertained while you watch the movie, unless you hate The Lion King. Like if you enjoyed the original, you're going to enjoy watching this one, but it's just not anything like new or special. It's the same thing.
That's accurate.
So like that's The Lion King. I don't know if we have much more else to say about it. So I don't know what's big next week. I don't know if there's anything big dropping.
I think there actually is.
We've got Hobbs and Shaw coming up in just a little bit.
So Hobbs and Shaw. Little disclaimer. Hobbs and Shaw, please actually go see, because there is going to be something. Okay, I'm not allowed to actually say anything or confirm anything. I will just say that there are rumors that something Jurassic related is going to debut alongside Hobbs and Shaw. And someone who works on this podcast may or may not have gotten to help work on this thing. And so I would just like to say, please go see Hobbs and Shaw, even if you hate Fast and Furious, just because dinosaurs are cool.
Right. Yeah, so it is Hobbs and Shaw. So that'll give us lots of stuff to talk about. The next time we see you, that's what we'll be speaking about, is Hobbs and Shaw.
Is that next week?
That's next. Yes, that's this upcoming weekend. So,
wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think so. Yeah.
Here,
I'm 99% sure. I think it might be opening midweek. Like it's one of those weird ones that opens like
Far From Home.
Yeah. Oh no, just kidding. No, that's 2 weeks from now. So we've got nothing dropping this week. So this is boring week.
Here, let's do upcoming movies.
I think probably we'll just end up talking about Marvel Phase 4. if anything, because
probably we can also go back and rate movies that have already come out that we've seen. Because like we could do Toy Story 4. We could do Crawl.
Mind you, I had this fun thing where I was gone for 2 years volunteering in another country, so I missed a lot of movies and came home and binge watched everything. So we could do like a rapid fire through every movie I've just watched that's like come out in the last 2 years.
Okay. Oh, we do have this one is one that I don't know if we want to cover it, and if we did, now I would have to cover it. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, that's right. That was this weekend.
And then, after that, it's 2 weeks.
Hobbs and Shaw. So, we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. We'll find something to talk about until then. But thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Cinema. This is going to be something we're going to be dropping every week as we can, because life is busy, but we're going to try and make this a priority. So, awesome. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoy your week and enjoy hearing about the benefits for you. We'll see you later.
Have a good one.